Have you ever read a story just so horrifyingly and gross that that it was just bad and you would never read it again? Hey guys, Lugiamaster here, and today I'm going to talk about bad horror writing. In this case, I'm going to be talking about Sweet Apple Massacre and Trixie's Funhouse. Now, if this video were to somehow get 30 likes, I might consider doing a live stream rating both of these, but the live stream would have to be age restricted because they're just so fucking horrible. There's a reason why I did not want to read these on Halloween. I promised I would read both of these, but I didn't because I just couldn't do it. I just can't handle it. They're not even scary. You know what Rainbow Factory has going for it? Suspense and just like this sort of eerie, like kind of this evil presence. Whereas Sweet Apple Massacre and Trixie's Funhouse, they just really don't have that kind of feeling to them. It's like, this characters. It's just like, these characters are either going to die or they're going to somehow survive, but barely. Okay, you could say that about a lot of stories, but these two stories is just okay. Let's start talking about them. All right. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the name Sweet Apple Massacre? Do you think of this story where this one guy comes to the apple farm and starts killing off each of the apple family, but there's somebody from Ponyville that the characters either know or don't know? Or do you think of Big Macintosh fucking and killing his sister and her friends? If you said the first one, then you're wrong. It's just, they're just so bad. Like, no offense to the people who wrote these stories. I see what they're going for, but I'm also going to tell you this: both of these stories are basically the same. The worst part is I can't figure out which one came first, Sweet Apple Massacre or Trixie's Funhouse, because I honestly couldn't tell. I looked up to see which one came first, but I just could not figure out when each one was written. And I read both of the stories. Well, I've heard people reading on YouTube read it, so I kind of know the. So they're the same. Just trust me. No, they're not. I know somebody's probably gonna say, "Oh no, they're not the same." Trixie's Funhouse is Trixie. Shoot up a massacre. Yes, Macintosh. Well, here's why you're wrong. Okay, yeah, they have some differences, but the premise around these stories are the same. A character is annoyed by the Cutie Mark Crusaders and thus kills them themselves or orders somebody to kill for them. That's literally the premise of Trixie's Funhouse and the premise of Sweet Apple Massacre. They're just okay. Let's talk about Sweet Apple Massacre first. Okay, now if we were to take out the Sweet Apple Massacre part and I give it a different name, I don't know what I'd call it, but let's keep it at let's keep it with the same kind of premise where Big Macintosh is so annoyed by the Cutie Mark Crusaders that he wants to kill them. This actually kind of feels like a story that could work, right? But the way that this story presents itself just does not work. It's just too over the top with the gore and all of that. It's just not good. They're not scary. It's just now let's change this, right? What if in this story, Big Macintosh is still annoyed by the Cutie Mark Crusaders? He wants to have some peace and quiet, but he kills them in a different way. He hunts them down one by one, killing them off one by one instead of having, huge rape and murder session with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, because these people apparently get off on that shit. And that could have been made into something extremely interesting, where it's like you see this what Big Macintosh has been feeling this entire time, but you get that what Big Macintosh is feeling the entire time with Sweet Apple Massacre, the way it was originally written, but it could have been done better. By that I mean, if they just took out all that gore and the how gruesome it was, and including the rape too, and they added something else to it, kept the motive and all that, did something else with that. Let's say took them to the maze. Yeah, I could see something like Big Macintosh. It's like this is around Halloween, and he's just tired of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, annoying him so much, or being loud and obnoxious that he wants to kill them. So he decides to do it on Halloween. Yeah, that's is kind of cliche, but what can you do? Now, what he does is he takes the Cutie Mark Crusaders to a maze, right? A corn maze. And he kills each one in the maze. He gets them all separated, and he has this secret path or something like that to where he can get to anywhere and kill off each of the Cutie Mark Crusaders individually. Now, granted, there'd have to be some way that Big Macintosh would have to separate them. Maybe like he could say, well, the first one to get to the end gets a big surprise, right? Now, what could happen is that maybe one or two of them get killed off, or maybe all three, right? Let's see, if one or two of them get killed off and the other one makes it out, big surprise. Oh, they get the head of their dead friends, and this is what you get for not shutting up. See, that could have been an interesting story. That could have been cool. That would have been good. Now, I'm not sure how I would go about writing that, but yeah. But unlike Trixie's Funhouse, Sweet Apple Massacre has a sequel, I believe. Yeah, it has a sequel where Applejack is the victim, but she survives. Now, why did I say these stories? Well, okay. They both Cutie Mark Crusaders are a normal character. The characters want them dead. They rape and murder the Cutie Mark Crusaders. That just doesn't seem like something Big Macintosh would do. Like rape and murder his sibling and her friends. No, killing them maybe, but not like this. Not the way that Sweet Apple Massacre was done. Trixie's fine. Can I excuse her and all that? No. So, and I bet you're gonna say, like, but wait, Cupcake's had gore and stuff like that in it. Why does it get an excuse? Because it has a purpose. It has a purpose. What about the Rainbow Factory? Well, could you really say there was that much gore in it? Yeah, sure, there was some, but even then, it had somewhat of a purpose. Here, the gore is just not the guts and the entrails and all that shit. It's just not necessary. These stories could have just been told in different ways, and it could have been interesting, but they're just both written in a same way, but with slightly different storytellings. It's just I can't tell the difference between the two. Like they're both practically the same. I mean, you could say the same thing about a lot of creepypastas and how they're a ripoff of another, but these two are basically exact copies, just rewritten slightly with different villains It's I just can't excuse the stuff that happens in these stories. I just can't. Cupcakes, it has a point because it's how Pinkie Pie has secretly been making cupcakes for years. But the way that these two, it has no place. Why is it done? Why is it there? Why is it so detailed? Why is it so over the top? Yeah, it's a grim dark fanfic. I'm not even considering these creepy pastas. I'm just considering them grim dark fanfics. I mean, I think that's what most of these MLP creepypastas are, with maybe the exception of Rainbow Factory. Yeah, that's a grim dark fanfic, but I would consider that one a creepypasta. Luna Game too. Luna Game is a creepypasta. Well, maybe not. I don't know much about Luna Game, right? Okay, but Rainbow Factory is definitely a creepypasta. Cupcakes, grim dark fanfic, slightly maybe creepypasta, right? Possibly creepypasta. I'll put that one in a creepypasta section too. But Sweet Apple Massacre and Trixie's Funhouse, no, they're not. There's the suspense is just like the only suspense really is when are they going to die? When is it going to end for the Kingdom Crusaders? And when will they die? No, again, no offense to the original creators of both of these stories, but I'm sorry, but these stories are just bad. They're just poorly written and way too over the top. Hell, even in a creepypasta that I did for school, the student said it's like, well, the gore and all that wasn't too over the top. It just didn't feel too grotesque. That's what they're just both overly grotesque, you know? And it's just, I can't excuse the writing. I know I'm just rambling on at this point. So again, if this video somehow makes it to 30 likes, or maybe even 100, and somewhere in between 30 and 100 likes, I will do a rating of both of these in a live stream. I'm not sure when that would happen, but I promise that I'll actually do a live stream. But it would have to be age restricted, and I'd have to give out a warning saying that if you're not comfortable with this kind of reading, I suggest you leave. So, yeah. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the Creeper Cat Army. I will see you later, recruits. Peace out.